All right, guys. All right, I'm awake. What's up, DS? Yeah, I'm looking at AMSC. That thing is crazy right now, man. At $21 a share. That's a big move. We do have earnings today. We got Uber, Pfizer, Caterpillar, Enterprise, JetBlue, SPWR, and a bunch of other ones. It's 520 in the US right now. What stock made 1,000%? Yeah, what's up, Beach Bum? Difficult day to trade yesterday. Yeah, I ended up losing money yesterday, and it's all good. All right. Oh, man, I'm up. Yeah, I'm a stream AMD. SMNP. Yeah, I see AMSC. That's crazy. I'll have to look up American Semiconductor Corporation. Yeah, S&P 500 is just volatile, man. It was a pretty choppy day yesterday. Let's see what these show. We got manufacturing PMI today. All right, let's see what else we got. What happened yesterday? What time is that PMI data release? It's gonna be later this morning at like 9:45. I'm still looking for cheap blue chips. If anybody wants to recommend any. Looks like me taking a lot off of Walgreens was good. Taking off at Target was good. Snapchat, RTX, still green on all those. Disney. Disney's been incredibly strong, man. Oh, Disney's almost at $90 a share. Shout out to everybody who said I brought it up too much. Market's still pushing up some. See if the downtrend of the day continues. Team students using have until 8:22 to vote on a new. Yeah, it's August right now. I don't know if it's long or short. I'm looking at all the stuff y'all are mentioning. S&MP, S&M, S&MP's up a lot, man. But this is kind of weird. Uh, I've seen this one so much. This is just pump and dump. I'm incredibly sketched out by it, but hey, if y'all can make some money on it, I'm happy for y'all. You know. All right, guys. So it's about to be five. So we got Caterpillar dropping their earnings right now. So Caterpillar dropping their numbers. All right, here's Caterpillar. Pretty slow and pre. About a five. Yeah, tiny float. It has to have a tiny float to move like that. We do have the SPY moving back up a little bit. Here's Caterpillar numbers. Caterpillar about to drop their earnings pretty soon. We'll cover them when they drop. Great channel. Thank you, man. Uber earnings about to drop. We have Caterpillar numbers. Again, you can see Caterpillar probably out with theirs. You can see this little pop up to 267s right now. So Caterpillar moving up to 267. I see Merck. Caterpillar just dropped theirs. Their earnings came in at 555 EPS on 458 expectations. So higher than expected for Caterpillar. They're gapping up revenue 16.49 billion expected. They showed 17.3 billion. You can see their numbers right here on screen. Caterpillar shoes. I don't think so, man. Caterpillar's the construction company. They do the construction machines like bulldozers and stuff like that. So they're pretty well known. They're probably the biggest construction machine company in the world. Uh, if, you know, I don't think it's the shoes. Then maybe they're the ones that create the shoes too. Again, I really don't know. I'm gonna put the music on. All right, guys. They make engines for big trucks also. Yeah, so Caterpillar dropped theirs. They're gapping up from their report here. You can see it here. Not a huge move though. They're not the most volatile. Here, let me put the music on. Hold on. Yeah, so at 9:45 we have ISM manufacturing PMI numbers. 10 a.m. we have ISM manufacturing numbers. 9:45 we got the S&P numbers, and then we also again we had Caterpillar drop theirs. In about 10 minutes we have Pfizer numbers. We have Uber in about 20 minutes. Norwegian Cruise drops theirs at 7:30, so in about an hour. JetBlue drops theirs in about 25 minutes. SunPower sometime before the bell, and that's basically it. We got Siri, Toyota dropping their earnings super early today, but that's basically it. Nothing else really big. But those are big enough. Uber coming out in about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, let's do a poll. We can do a poll. Y'all should be able to hear the music. I don't think we have Jolts today. Is it today? Let me see. Let me see. Does Uber beat or miss their earnings report? Vote on that poll. Does Uber beat or miss? I'm checking on everything else here. Bear with me. Oh, we do have the Jolts job report at 10 a.m. today. That'll be relatively big. Okay, so we do have Jolts today, but it's at 10 a.m. We got manufacturing PMI as well. So I had a question about Twitter shares. What happens when a company like that goes private? Typically, what happens is there'll be a specific buyout price. Like the company, in order to go private, right? So think about it like this: in order to go private, the company has to buy out all the shareholders. So like when Twitter went private, I think the buyout price was like $54 or something. So there were a lot of people that got in much lower than that on Twitter that made a bunch of money when the buyout happened. And so I think the buyout was like $54.20 or whatever it was. So, but the company, in order to go private, has to buy out the public holders, right? So they got to buy out all those shareholders. So basically, if they have 1,000 shares, they get paid 1,000 times 54 or whatever Twitter was worth, and then the buyout's done, and then shares just disappear. Bitcoin and crypto to Uber rides. Yeah, maybe. What do you think about Neo? I don't know about Neo, man. I know Neo is interesting. It's an overseas stock. I just don't know enough about overseas. It's had a great run. It's up like over 100% since the beginning of June. So, I mean, it's up over 100%. It looks incredibly strong technical wise. Oh, short. I'm not sure what happens to shorts. Shorts, if they're short from under the price, they probably, I don't know what happens there. Never been in that situation. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, then Uber currently sitting. So there's Caterpillar on the left. Here's Uber. Uber, man, I remember when this thing was at like 20, 30 bucks a share. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so again, we lost a little bit yesterday in our express funded account. Again, the S&P at 456.70. So it had a big green move right before the closing bell, and then basically corrected back this morning in pre-market. So yesterday was very strong at the end of the day, but it basically came all the way back in pre-market. Yeah, today we also have AMD earnings. AMD are up a little bit from yesterday. We'll cover CVS for sure. But in terms of like, we're gonna stream the AMD earnings call and cover all the other ones. So like today, after the bell, we got AMD, Starbucks, Pinterest, MicroStrategy, a couple other ones too. Do you think AMD is going to beat? I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. I think they've had a microchips. AMD is one of the most interesting stocks to watch during this earnings season for a couple different reasons. The main one is because it's a microchip stock that has one of the highest PE ratios out of any other company in the market, especially in microchips, right? The PE ratio specifically for AMD is at like 500 or 600, just ridiculously high. And so in that regard, a lot of people are looking at their earnings to see if their earnings are going to justify being so highly priced. And if they're not, we could see big brash corrections or something like that. But again, we don't know. But it's for that reason, AMD is really interesting for earnings. The PE ratio is very high, and it'll be really important to watch. RBA pause rate is very high because earnings were negative. I don't think earnings, let me see. I have to look at the history of AMD's reporting for their earnings. Yeah, so AMD, when I look at their numbers, I mean, their earnings weren't negative. They made money. It just wasn't as much as anticipated. This time they're expecting 57 cents. Last time they showed 60 cents versus 56 cents expected. The time before that, they showed 69 cents versus 67 cents expected. So they have beat on 3 out of the last 4 EPS readings, quarterly EPS reports. So they have beat on 3 out of 4. They only missed on 1 of them. So, I mean, yeah. And so they're not really like, it's not because they're losing money, and it's not because they're coming in under expectations for EPS, which is profitability, you know. So I mean, and the way you calculate PE ratio is you add up the last 4 quarterly EPS readings, and then you divide that by the price of AMD. So in this case, you would add up 60 cents, 69 cents, 67 cents, and $1.05, and you would divide that number by whatever price AMD was sitting at. Or no, you would divide that number by whatever price AMD is sitting at, and then so AMD is at 114. And so to get the PE ratio, just to show you the normal formula behind this, right? All right, so we can add this up and figure it out real quick. 60 cents plus 69 cents plus 67 cents. It doesn't have anything to do with the expected numbers, plus 105. All right, so here is the trailing yearly EPS, which is about $3 a share, right? So $3 a share divided by AMD's current price at 114.60s. We're just gonna do divided by 3. You got a PE ratio of about 38. So AMD's PE ratio isn't super high. Unless I did that backwards, which I don't think I did. 3.01 divided by, we can do it this way, 114. Yeah, that's definitely not it. So yeah, I mean, 40 PE ratio is really not that bad. Unless I'm wrong about this. Maybe it wasn't AMD that had the high PE ratio. Yeah. Yeah, y'all are right. All right, so AMD's PE ratio is like 38. That's not that bad, honestly, in this market, to be real. Yeah, I don't know, Raphael. It's subjective, man. I'm not sure, dude. Last quarter, AMD failed to beat. The stock went down 90 to 80, then spiked almost 50% in less than a month. Yeah, but even at the current prices, relative to how much money they're bringing in, they're not incredibly overpriced, actually. Well, yeah, that's wrong. You know, again, we could look at the trailing. I'm looking at what's called the trailing. When I look at Benzinga, for instance, Benzinga says the PE ratio is 602. So unless I'm doing something wrong here, which I don't think I am, this is how you calculate the PE ratio. I'm not sure why they say that. Yeah, and according to Benzinga, it says the TTM, which is the trailing 12-month, is 602, which doesn't make any sense. Again, we can look at 60 cents plus 69 cents. Yeah, it equals about 3, and then you divide that by AMD's current 114 price. And the PE ratio shouldn't be that high. I don't know why all these other platforms are saying saying it's, it's not that bad. Let me ask Twitter. All right, so July is over. All right, guys. So again, you do. All right, so current price of 114. All right, current price of 114.40s divided by 3.01 equals 38. Tag AMD. If you know why, vote on this poll or answer this poll. Again, I made this post. 38 should be their PE ratio. I really don't know why they're showing all these different numbers. Oh crap, man. We had Uber drop their numbers, I think, right? Oh, Pfizer dropped their numbers. So Pfizer out with theirs. They showed EPS of 67, beat the 57, revenue of 12.73, expected 13.27. So Pfizer beat on one, missed on one. I don't know about the first trading day. Here's Pfizer on the right side. Still waiting for Uber here. Uber doesn't drop theirs for another 4 minutes. Pfizer out with theirs already. Again, Pfizer not really doing much. They missed on EPS, or they beat on EPS, missed on sales, it looks like, for Pfizer. So they're pretty flat. They cut it. They narrowed. Here, we'll put this number on screen for Pfizer. They cut and narrowed their fiscal year revenue view from 67 to 70, from 67 to 71. So they lowered their guidance a little bit by a small amount, but they did lower it. They expected less than they showed, but they still cut it a little bit. So, or they reaffirmed their fiscal year EPS view of 325 to 345, and they expected 332. So that was better than expected there as well for Pfizer. And again, you can kind of see all the data here. FBK Bank dropped their numbers as well, but Uber gapped it up really nice on today's data here. I don't think Uber's out with their numbers for another couple minutes, but Uber. All right, so we did get a lot of earnings drop today. Again, Pfizer beat EPS, Enterprise missed, JetBlue beat. So JetBlue is out with theirs. They dropped theirs a little bit early, but JetBlue dropped 45-cent EPS versus 40-cent expected. So JetBlue did release their numbers also. Marathon Petroleum dropped their numbers also. Uber and Lyft don't steal from drivers, man. I mean, not in any major way. They're a business, you know. And again, like, if drivers don't like them, they just shouldn't work for them. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're giving people employment opportunities where when I was growing up, they didn't have a lot of options like that, you know? So it's like they're giving them a way to work for themselves, you know. But I think people complain. Hey, what's up, Juan? Yeah, we're gonna be streaming AMD earnings for sure, Corey. And maybe I'm wrong. Again, y'all can educate me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. Laser. Yeah, laser doesn't look. I mean, it looks. It doesn't look that good for me. What's up, Pawn? What's up, DS? Again, we do have some other stuff. So again, Pfizer out, Caterpillar out, JetBlue out, Enterprise out. Waiting for Uber, which is expecting break even. So Uber expecting break even today. Okay, well then speak out on it, One Love. What is it? What happened, man? How do Uber and them steal? Educate me, kind sir. Yeah, look at Uber drop. So Uber must have just released their numbers. I feel much better today, man. I got enough sleep finally. EPS 18 cents for Uber. 18 cents. They expected 0 cents. So it looks like they came in profitable relative to expectations. I don't know why they're down so much. Look at this big drop on Uber here, guys. I don't know why they're down. But they showed 18-cent EPS when they expected 0. Revenue of 9.23. They expected 9.33. So lower than expected revenue, higher than expected EPS. So there goes Uber. Originally dropped and now rebounded back all the way, almost green on the day for Uber. Again, they beat on EPS, missed on revenue is what this was. All right, in the second quarter, they continue to attract more drivers to the company than ever before through our focus on innovation and driver satisfaction, with mobility active drivers up 33% year over year. Second quarter mobility gross bookings came in at 16.7 billion. Delivery gross bookings up 12%. Third quarter gross bookings at 34 to 35 billion guidance. They said, quote, over the next few years, we'll evaluate returning excess capital to shareholders as our cash flows ramp, and with any potential further monetization of our equity stakes over the long term for Uber. Uber likely to win war against Lyft, says former Uber exec Emil Michael. Yeah, I just feel much better today, man. I didn't get enough sleep last night. My son didn't wake me up last night, which is good. You know. But yeah, Uber, again, better than expected EPS, missed on sales. All right, we did ask the poll, does Uber beat or miss their earnings? 64% said beat, 36% said miss. So we're going to go ahead and end that poll. And then we're going to do another poll. Market closed green today. We got so much other data that we're just going to ask that. Keep it simple. Does the market close green? Very volatile Uber chart, though. You can see it here. Look at this. Big green action for Uber. Ripped up to 52.40s. Again, Pfizer still breaking down. We had some other earnings today, too. Caterpillar, again, kind of flat from their report. EPD Enterprise. Very choppy price action here for this one. But they're out with their numbers. But you can see the chart there for Enterprise. JetBlue, down on their report. And so Uber had a surprise beat for their EPS. Again, we'll put the full number up right there so you guys can see it. But Uber had a surprise beat for their EPS when they expected a loss. JetBlue at 730s. SunPower Pfizer, all out with their data. All right, so we did a new poll. Does the market close green today? 52% say no, 48% say yes. Good day for me yesterday, so like we made a good bit of money yesterday. Averaged into a couple positions. Again, you can see JetBlue starting to bounce back. Uber's still pretty volatile. If we look at the SPY here on the right, at 457.18s, 457.18s. Yesterday was not a good day for my trading at all. Look at the SPY. So SPY is up, man. Again, not the most volatile day for the market, but pretty much flat. It ripped up right before the bell yesterday and then dipped down in pre-market, and now has since bounced back a little bit now too. So yeah, Disney flew up, man. Again, people wonder why, like, you know, again, it's probably the same person making a couple different fake accounts, or it's political related. But again, it's not like I'm super rooting for one side politically. You know what I mean? Like, people act like I buy Disney, I'm their enemy, you know? And it's like, dude, like, I don't care about any of that stuff, man. I really am very like anti-politics in general here. And like, I try to respect people regardless of what type of, view they have on anything, but not necessarily. But point is, I'm not against you if you don't like Disney, but since people have been saying that, Disney has pushed up like $4 a share. My average price on Disney is about $86 right now, and this was me adding to it. My previous average price was like $85, and so another very profitable trade on Disney. Very easy too. I mean, it's people. Again, I wait for it to pull back to lows. I buy the dip. I ride the bounce up. I take profit. I wait for it to fall back down to lows. I buy the dip. I take profit. Pretty easy system there, and we've been doing it for a long time, and it works really well. And so we'll keep doing it. Yeah, we made some money on TGT yesterday too, on Target. Speaking of other stocks that people hate it when we buy, again, our average price on this one's 135s. It's at 136s. Beautiful bounce yesterday. We'll see if we can make day 2 of that, but nice little bounce there. Again, we bought Walgreens. Made some money on that one yesterday too. Again, Walgreens, we took profit already, but it's kind of neutral. The other one. I'm also in TSN, which I'm actually red on. So I did buy Tyson Foods. I bought a little bit of that one. It's at 55.70s. Our average price is like 56.40s or so. So we're down less than $1 a share there. Not the worst position. We're also in Snapchat. Green already took profit a little bit on that one, I believe. Yeah, we took a little bit off yesterday. Rode the huge bounce, caught the bounce, rode it up nicely too. That looks good. We're in RTX. We're green sitting on that one as well. Honeywell is one that we're down slightly on, but it's not a big loss at all. Average price is 194.90. It's at 194.20 or so. So pretty close to break even there. Again, we're in Disney. We're in AMC, which, is basically almost back up to $5. So that looks good. I followed your process a couple months ago when I bought Pfizer at the 52-week lows with the dividend. So you're doing well on that one, Corey? Probably, right? I mean, if not, like I said, I can't guarantee anybody's going to make money on anything individually. Also, earnings skewed Pfizer. So, like with this system, I'm usually taking profit. I very rarely hold anything for a couple months unless it's like a safe blue chip company, which Pfizer probably is, but it's also pharmaceutical related, so it could be volatile there. Merck, yeah, I did see Merck drop their numbers this morning too. MRK, they're up nicely. They're at 109s. They get Uber with a big gain from pre-market. I'm still looking for some other companies. I'm still, again, I'm going to ask this question again. Why on a lot of places does AMD show a PE ratio of 600? Why? Again, the yearly EPS, the trailing 12-month EPS is $3 basically, $3.01. When you divide that by the price of AMD, which is about 114.40, you get 38 PE ratio, which is not bad. Why do all these other platforms say 600? I'm confused. No, we're not going to stream Uber earnings. We're going to stream Uber earnings. No, we're not going to stream Uber earnings. We're going to stream AMD earnings this evening. Yeah, and again, just remember, like, I'm diversifying into a bunch of different plays. So it's like I might be right or wrong individually. I can't predict the future. But AMC probably doesn't even have a PE ratio. I asked it on Twitter. I haven't gotten a response yet. No, I don't think Quantower has a phone app. Yeah, I don't think Quantower has a phone app. I mean, there's so many different platforms that they offer that you should be able to find, So Norwegian Cruise doesn't drop their earnings until 7:30, so we still got like 20 minutes, 22 minutes left. Yeah, so NASDAQ is correct. So the PE ratio of AMD is 38 right now, 38. So looks like the Astros won. Pee Wee Herman passed away. Rest in peace to the man. I see Adam Aaron posting a lot. He said, if you're rooting for a full recovery for AMC in 24-25, as I am, the huge box office caused by Barbenheimer has to be a good and optimistic sign. Still, none of this changes that the year-to-date box office remains lower than that of 2019, or that there is uncertainty due to our having to cope with the potentially debilitating writer and actor strike. The risks I cited in my open letter a week ago are real. How's Verlander doing over there on the Mets? So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm reading this on Twitter. Justin Verlander shot his shot at Kate Upton in 2014 at a baseball game where he was pitching at the game. Or no, he was in the dugout. I don't know if he pitched that game. But you could see him shooting his shot with Kate Upton. They went on a date and have since been married for the last few years, have a couple kids, you know. So shoot your shot, guys, you know, I guess. Yeah, rest in peace, Pee Wee. Yeah, my daughter yesterday I was like, oh no, Pee Wee died. I grew up on Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Okay, Francis, the bike, you know, big, large Marge. That's what I grew up on. Okay, I used to love that movie as a kid. Right. My daughter was like, oh, Pee Wee Herman. I was like, yeah. And then my wife was like, yeah, but he was kind of a weird dude. And my daughter was like, how? And I was like, you know, I was like, my daughter had one of her friends with her, and I was just kind of like, y'all ask your parents. Like, we'll tell you later, you know. Couldn't really explain to Maddie how he was a weird dude, but he's a weird dude, man. I mean, he was a weird dude. Rest in peace to him, though. You know, he seems funny. We all make mistakes here, you know. It's all right, Pee Wee. Rest in peace, bro. I don't know if we want Verlander. Though, you know, Verlander's old, man. I think it's wasting money. I know Fromber hasn't looked as good lately, but you know, again, I don't know if we want Pee Wee. All right, guys. So again, the SPY at 457s. Basically, all the big earnings are essentially out today. We still got a little bit of time, but oh, I know, bro. What's the kid from Euphoria's name, dude? I thought my daughter would know who he is. I'm kind of glad she didn't. Because Euphoria, she could never watch that show. I've seen like a couple episodes, but the dude from Euphoria died. It's like the heartthrob, Angus Cloud. That kid passed away, and they didn't really say what it was. I know it's either two things. It's got to be either two things because of their. It's got to be two things, right? So it can only really be two things, which is overdose and you know what. You know, so rest in peace, regardless of what it is. But so it looks like it was an overdose. Sad, man. Again, I've had a lot of friends that have gone that way. The tattoo on my right arm, if you guys ever see it, Uh, one of my friends, growing up, I don't know if I want to tell that story. Um, Close friend of mine on my right arm. That's where the tattoo comes from. But man, yeah, sad. Bobby Miller, bro, dude. If I was the Dodger, I'd tell. I think, yeah, yeah. Bobby Miller's got a bright future in pitching for sure. That kid throws heat, man. Yeah, I always got scared of the large Marge scene. I see Tupperware. Here's the reality of Tupperware, though. Unless Tupperware goes like GameStop, the long-term viability of Tupperware is questionable. No, it's not a resurgence, Jay. It's always been there, man. It's been there since I was young. Again, my right arm, my friend, my friend was always like we would always joke around and be like, yeah, man, if either one of you guys ever passed away, I'd get you tattooed on my arm, And so we told him that, and then it happened, you know what I mean? And so I had to kind of go through with what I said and get his name, or get his initials. But yeah, man, it happens more than you guys, it happens, especially like I'm from Louisiana. It's rampant there for sure. One of the reasons I wanted to get out of my hometown was because I just had so many friends that happened to them. What's GIS? Is it General Mills? Yeah, so General Mills. General Mills is like, they own a lot of things that you might not think they do. So if they're cheap, they do look cheap. So let me see, GIS. General Mills is a consumer food company. Put it into perspective, General Mills owns Blue Buffalo dog food, Betty Crocker, Annie's, Nature Valley, Pillsbury, Haagen-Dazs, and a bunch of cereal partners. General Mills is cheap too. When did their earnings come out? Is their earnings already out with GIS? They look cheap though. September. Okay, so we still got a couple months. I might buy General Mills down here, to be honest. I'm gonna take a small position. 15 shares. Maybe take 20 shares. All right, so we're in 20 shares of GIS. I think that's just a good, reasonable position. The Montreal Expos. Yeah, Disney, loving life. Yeah, we've already taken so much profit from it. I'm in just a small piece of Disney now. I don't know. One of my favorite teams is the Blue Jays. They got Vlad, they got Bo Bichette, they've got just a great team. I like the Blue Jays. Just a good, just stacked team of hitters on the Blue Jays. They got Vlad, Bo Bichette, Alek Manoah. Even though Alek Manoah has been pretty suspect this year, didn't he get bumped down to not even AAA, but like AA? They got Alejandro Kirk, Kikuchi, George Springer, Chapman. Got some other ones. Jose Barrios. They got like some other okay pitchers. But Bichette, Guerrero, Manoah, Kirk, Springer, Chapman. Pretty good squad right there. Honestly, with Manoah, if Manoah was doing great, they'd be doing better. They bumped Manoah down to like AA, but he's been getting beat up there, I think, the last thing I heard. PayPal running. Yeah, PayPal is one of those stocks where I think like you could argue it's extended on the downside, but the problem with PayPal is that it's up like big percentages. It's up like 30 or 40% since its lows back in May. In May, this thing was at 58 bucks. It's currently at 75. That's too big of a percentage gain for me short term for me to be interested in buying this thing up right now. That's the only thing. Like it's up too much short term. So Norwegian Cruise, the 2280s. PayPal down way more though. That's true. I mean, it's down a lot, but I'm talking about in terms of extension. It's been on a big upward move for the last couple months. So for that, it's just too high for me to want to buy this thing. It's just not my style right now. Again, I'm into some stuff, but I'm not in like extended enough for me to really take like crazy risks here. Again, most of the earnings are out today, with the exception of a couple ones like SunPower. Again, but NCHL is up. Let's see what the numbers showed. Altria dropped their numbers. Let me look at Bing. Every time I ask Bing AI anything, it doesn't answer it stock-wise. I'm like, hey, what stocks are around their 52-week lows? And this is something that, like, it says Netflix. What a bad answer, bro. I ask Microsoft's Bing, hey, what large cap stocks are around their 52-week lows? It gives me Netflix. To put it into perspective, the 52-week low of Netflix is about 250. Netflix is currently at about 440s, so that's wrong. PayPal says the 52. PayPal's wrong as well. Shopify, which I'm not going to buy Shopify. I don't trust Shopify enough, and Shopify's had a huge green year as well. Spotify, I might be a little bit more likely to buy it than Shopify, but Spotify's up too much already short term. Spotify's gone from $69 at the beginning of the year up to $149.40. Just up too much. Zoom, I'm not buying Zoom either. Zoom is becoming obsolete. There's too many replacements for it. Etsy's okay, but it's up too much. It was at $80 in May. It's at 100 plus now. DocuSign, not going to buy it. CrowdStrike, I don't know enough about this company, but it's definitely not red on the year. Datadog, up too much on the year. Yeah, most of these are up. I gotta tell it, hey, most of these stocks are nowhere near the lows of the year. Please All right, so the one it's giving me is AMC. Is one of the ones it's giving me AMC. AMC's better, okay? AMC's better. I asked it for stocks that are within 5% of the yearly low. AMC's better. I don't know if I still don't think that's right. SQ is the other one it gave me. SQ is up too much. Carvana. Crazy squeeze for Carvana the last couple months. Roblox. I don't know about Roblox. Maybe. Workhorse. Never buying Workhorse. Asking, can you list more? Again, NCHL up there. Tupperware earnings tomorrow. CrowdStrike is a good company. Yeah, but the problem with CrowdStrike is that, like, here's the yearly chart for CrowdStrike. Right, so it's like, this is where the AI is flawed. I ask it for stocks that are at the lows of the year. Here's CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike lows are 92s. This thing's currently at 160s right now. So, like, it's nowhere near the lows. You know, that's the problem with this, is that it's just not anywhere near the lows. I mean, I'll keep configuring it, but Coinbase has earnings Thursday. Coinbase is up a lot too. Wish is closer, but I'm not buying Wish. Cloudflare, which is net, still not around lows. MongoDB, still not around lows. Let me rephrase the question. I'm saying, hey, only list stocks that have broken lows in the past 30 days. It's probably a good fit. Enphase, ENPH. Enphase is okay. Maybe Exxon too might be arguable. It listed the same stocks. Enphase is a good option. What's wrong with Enphase? Why is it breaking down so much, though? I know it's energy related. Didn't they release earnings recently? They don't release theirs until October. Maybe Enphase is an arguable one. I just don't know enough about it, but I'll buy a little bit of this, just a small amount. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go figure out a different AI system. Blink is no penny stocks. Pinterest up too much. The other one I was thinking about is Roblox, although, like, Roblox is not around lows at all. I'll diversify, buy a little bit of Roblox down here. I'll buy like 20 shares of Roblox. So yeah, I've been kind of like getting a pretty large portfolio out here. The way I see it is diversification is good. Snapchat, I'm already in Snapchat, so Snapchat's not bad. My average price on Snapchat is 1060s. Snapchat's at 1140. So yeah, I'm already in Disney. I've been holding Disney from the 85s. Disney's up really nice. They already took some profit on it yesterday too. All right, so NCLH did drop their numbers, I believe. Or wait, I don't know, man. Maybe they didn't. Again, there's Uber on the left. Here's the SPY. I'm breaking down short term here. Yeah, ExxonMobil's down a lot too. Chevron. Chevron's interesting. We are going to be day trading some today also. We got our express funded account. I got to build up a cushion and then take some risks to build a large cushion on the day. That's what I got to do on Top Step. And so I got to trade the regular E-mini, the regular NASDAQ, build up a cushion, and then once I have that cushion, attack larger. All right, that's the goal. That's what I got to do. In the funded account. That way, like, I have a nice little cushion. I'm not worried about it. That's what I got to do. And so that's the goal. CVS. Where's CVS at? CVS is not as around lows as like Walgreens is or anything like that. Yeah, you didn't, Sam. No offense. Your comments on Snapchat is not what got me to buy it. What got me to buy Snapchat was they dropped pretty big on their earnings report. And again, Snapchat is not a trade that I took for the first time recently. If you look at my positions on Snapchat, like, I've traded Snapchat a lot, typically buying it around lows and selling it around highs. Like, typically what I do every earnings season for Snapchat, because Snapchat is one of those stocks that people just freaking, for whatever reason, they just root for it to fail. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, people just root for Snapchat to fail. But Snapchat's got some pretty big numbers. Like, they've got high DAU numbers, and they're starting to monetize themselves, right? And anytime you have that many daily active users, I think monetization is inevitable. And so with Snapchat, they've had to figure out best ways to monetize, and that's kind of caused some slowdowns. But, you know, every time Snapchat drops their earnings, like this time they were at 12.50, they dropped all the way to 10s basically. And so when they dropped to 10s from their earnings report, I bought that dip, even though a lot of people told me not to. And again, in hindsight, I was right. It's up to 11s now. So, and we already took profit a little bit on it already. September is the worst month in the year, so August will be choppy to exhaust longs and shorts. Yeah, just be careful. September is historically the worst month. Still got a couple months. There's Uber bouncing up a little bit. Yeah, all good, Sam. Yeah, I bought a little bit of Exxon, I think. Or no, I haven't yet. Let me buy it. So I'm probably going to buy a little bit of Exxon, just a little bit. Like, just through diversification. Like, the market's ripping up, right? So, like, the market has been pushing up. And so the stocks that I'm buying, I'm trying to buy stocks that are not super extended on the upside, that have a good chance of bouncing back. But of course, I don't know what markets are going to do. But I'm trying to buy stocks that, like, even if the market doesn't go up, these have a good chance of going up. All right, so did NCLH cruise numbers drop a couple minutes ago? Yeah, they were scheduled. All right, so there we go. So Norwegian Cruise showed 30-cent EPS, beat the 27-cent estimates. Sales of 2.21 beat the 2.18 estimates. So here's Norwegian Cruise Line numbers right there. Hey, what's up, George? PLTR. Yeah, PLTR's had a crazy big run too, man. So here's NCLH dropping pretty big down to 20s. We might buy a little bit of this. All right, so we got just filled on 10 shares of Norwegian Cruise right at $20 a share. Let's take a little position. Just down so much that we might get a little bounce. We'll look to, if it breaks lows, we'll probably add a little bit more to this. Or we're watching it. All right, so we had Norwegian Cruise drop their numbers. Uber drop their numbers. All right, so we got a little bounce so far. I could have added more, but I guess we're just going to wait since we're starting to catch a bounce. It's a small trade. We'll just sit in it. What was Uber's guidance? All right, so we got a nice little bounce here for NCALH. Should have bought some more, but that's okay. So we could add a little bit more here. I think I will. I need a little bit better market price, though. Okay, so it looks like we're filled. That's okay. I'll take that average. All right, so again, we did have Uber. We had Pfizer. We're posting all these on Twitter as well. Pfizer's guidance came in. We had Uber, Pfizer, Norwegian Cruise, Cat. All right, so again, we're posting all these to Twitter. What else is going on in market news? See, the problem with Norwegian Cruise is that it is actually up a lot, but oh man. All right. I don't know if I'm going to add too much more to this. Down about $20 on the trade. I could add another 5 shares, leave me a 25 share position. Fix my average a little bit, maybe. See, I'm trying to get filled on a market order, so it's not the best fill. Let's see if we can. There we go. All right. We got our fill there. I'm looking at other stock market news today. We have Coinbase later this week. AMD reports their quarterly earnings after the bell today. All right, so we're mostly out with the earnings this morning. All right, so again, guys, we posted our "What's Going On in the Market Today" tweet. That's what we've been working on. Again, if you want to check it out, hit the follow button, hit the heart button. Just have a heart, hit the heart button on our channel, guys. We appreciate it. Here's the number right there. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel is hit the heart button on this tweet. Give me a follow if you haven't already. Retweet it, comment your favorite moves today, and yeah, we'll see if we get anything good. Again, we did buy this here. We're kind of flat now. But again, help support your boy here. We got a couple minutes left. Again, we do have the Jolts report and manufacturing PMI numbers. Again, we do have the Jolts. Data today. All right, so we did get a little bounce up for NCLH. We're watching that. I'm going to put the SPY up on the left side here. So here's the SPY. Again, breaking down a little bit this morning, but there goes Norwegian Cruise back up some. Hey, thank you, Jason. Appreciate the sub, the tweet. Thanks, man. All right, so again, NCLH back up. You can see the SPY is still breaking down. So the SPY has been on a downward trend basically all morning since early this morning. You see NCLH up to 19.9. So it's back up to where we entered the trade at. Yeah, remember, today's the first day of August. First day of August. All right, so we're ramping back up. I have to see where my average is here. Okay, nice. We're in Norwegian Cruise. We're green on this one now. Beautiful rise. I'm going to go ahead and take 10 shares off here if I can. I'm trying to get filled basically at the top. There we go. All right, so we just took half off, locked that price in since we just made enough pretty quickly on this rise for Norwegian. That's nice. That'll protect the trade. The SPY is actually red on the day. It's not green. Previous closing price is up here at 457. We're at about 456s. Yeah, Tupperware has been crazy. Big gap up for Tupperware today, too. All right, so July ended. S&P went up 3.1% in July. According to Dow Jones, when the S&P 500 is up at least 2.5% in July, it averages a gain of 8.4% in the second half of the year. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Again, Norwegian cruise still up. Again, NCLH still up nicely. Again, these are the type of earnings dips I usually love. Got a poll on our Twitter account here. The poll is, we're going to make it for a week. It's going to be a week-long poll. So the S&P 500 rose 3. The poll is asking here. Poll is asking is it says we rose 3.1% in July. Historically, when the index rises at least 2.5% in July, it gains an average of 8.4% in the second half of the year. Again, however, past performance is not indicative of future results. Will we hit these projections? Yes or no? Vote on this poll right now. So we have the vote on Twitter. We put the poll out. Vote on this poll right here on Twitter. We appreciate it. And let me know what you guys think. Again, we've been buying up some stuff over the last few days and extended on the downside stocks. Again, we're in Honeywell. Some of these I'm just going to keep adding to as they pull. Again, we're also in Norwegian cruise, and that's still popping up some. I'm going to take a little bit more off, just lock the gains in a little bit more here if I can. Watched Karate Kid 2 yesterday. Great movie. Ridiculous ending, though, but great movie. Nice. Yeah, y'all check out the Discord, guys. Somebody said the Discord link didn't work, Pawn. Let me check it out. Yeah, it has been more active in the Discord. Check it out. All right, so we bought our money at Norwegian cruise. We locked it in profit there. We could just sit on the rest and not worry too much about it. We're green on Disney today. Snapchat's down a little bit, but we're still green. Green on Target, green on Walgreens, green on Exxon, green on RTX, a little bit red on Roblox, a little bit red on Honeywell. Bought General Mills, pretty flat there. EMPH, we're slightly red, but a lot of these we just entered, so we're down slightly. Gotcha. Pond. Yeah, I could probably update that now. See if it lets me. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think that Discord works. I'll have to update it to this recent one. Let me update Nightbot. Uh, all right, so I'm pretty sure I just updated the Discord from Nightbot, so that should help. Potato. Yeah, so AMD earnings this evening. That'll be interesting again for sure. And again, today we have a couple different things dropping. We've got Jolts, we got manufacturing and services PMI. Or no, we just have manufacturing PMI. All right, so again, let me know if you guys see anything cheap right now. We're looking for cheap discounts if we can find them. Again, Uber, 18-cent loss. What's going on with Surge? All right, so Surge Trader got hit with a $35 million SEC lawsuit. That's crazy. Yeah, let me read this. I'm gonna pause the music and I'm gonna listen to this for a second. So give me a second, guys. I'm gonna pause the music so I can listen to this. I'm gonna put it in fast speed, but all right, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah. So sorry, I'm listening to this right now, man. The Surge Trader CEO got sued. All right, so I'm going to read this press release. It says SEC charges Florida resident with operating a $35 million Ponzi scheme that targeted church members. And again, I'm quoting here. It says, quote, the SEC today charged Brent Seaman, and again, Seaman here, guys, is spelled Seaman, just for clarification. I felt the need to clarify that. All right, Brent Seaman of Naples, Florida, and various entities he managed for fraudulently raising approximately 35 million from at least 60 investors through an unregistered securities offering. Many of these investors were elderly, retired, and connected to a Naples church where Seaman, again spelled Seaman, was an active member. The SEC's complaint alleges that from approximately June to 2019 to September 2022, Seaman told investors he would use their money to invest in tech companies and to track currencies and commodities. He falsely promised annual returns ranging between. Why do that, bro? Like, listen, okay, if you're running, if you're running, what a dummy, bro. This guy basically ripped off. Like, why would people ever promise returns to anybody? Like, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. Like, listen, if you already got something going on, like, again, you got to protect your current businesses. Like, going out to your church group and just promising all this ridiculous stuff, like promising annual returns, looking for investments, and then promising annual returns is just dumb, man. Again, why would you ever do that? People ask me all the time, hey, John, should I buy this stock? I tell them I have no idea. They still ask me. I always say the same thing. I have no freaking idea. People ask me, you wouldn't believe how many people ask me to like trade their money for them. They say, hey, John, why don't I give you the login to my account and you can trade it? No, no, I'm not doing that. I'm never going to do that. You know why? Because I'm not dumb. I'm not going to sit there and be like, sure, guys, let me trade your own money. Go ahead. Like stupid, like dumb, man. I don't know why they do this, but yeah, SEC, again, suing Brent. I'm just going to say Brent now for 35 mil. He took at least 60 investors' money for $35 million, promised annual returns. Uh, let's keep reading this. Hold on. Yeah, so Brent is the guy. The man, how dumb you got to be. Yeah, man. 35 million's a lot, dude. Honestly, bro, I couldn't talk people I know into giving me 35 million for anything, dude. But here's the problem. The problem, like, you should never take other people's money like that. Like, the only way if people want to invest in your business, that's fine. But when you start promising annual returns, like, you can have people invest in your business. You can't promise annual returns. Like, that's something that, like, I don't know. You just can't promise annual returns. You know what I mean? Like, that's just dumb. And I just don't understand, like, why would what would be considered? Yeah, we've already showed Uber earnings. Uber's already out. Here, Uber earnings are right here, or maybe they're in the chat somewhere. But yeah, Uber's already out with their numbers. They showed 18-cent loss per share. Oh, no, no, no. They showed. This is wrong. Uber showed surprise profit, didn't they? Let me see. Yeah, Uber showed 2-cent EPS, beat the 1-cent loss estimates. So here's Uber's numbers right here. Yeah, the last name, man. I had to make sure to clarify how it was spelled so people didn't get weird with me, but that's just crazy. See, I think some of these guys, like this guy Brent here, I think some of these dudes, man, I think they're just like gambling addicts, bro. I think they just can't help but gamble. And I think like whenever you gamble like that, whenever you struggle that hard to like manage money, I think you become desperate for it. And when you become desperate for it, you start acting and behaving in the way that Brent of the sea behaves, where you're just kind of, telling people whatever they want to hear to get money. In the end, you got to just be careful, man. You know, like that. Like again, you don't ever want to trade anybody else's money. You don't ever want to promise annual returns in anything ever. It's just not what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't. I would rather make less. All right, so there's the 8 a.m. scrum. So we might see some opening popping volatility here. I would rather make less and not promise people the world than make more and promise people all this different stuff and be liable. It's just dumb. Yeah, and the problem again is a lot of people are just like gambling. The problem with trading, right? Like the real problem is you got gambling addicts, right? Like people who are just truly addicted to gambling, right? Like I watched this. What did I watch the other day? I watched. Watched Uncut Gems the other day. Just rough. Um, Uncut Gems. I watched that. I also watched Win It All, which is like a poker slash gambling movie on Netflix. Um, but again, I could never imagine being like that. Like I could never imagine being so addicted to the rush of risking money that like I just couldn't help myself, and I would if I was like consistently losing, I would just stop. Like I could never imagine being addicted to losing money. That sounds like a horrible addiction, you know? And I think it like again, I went to I'm not trying to be condescending to anybody, all right? So like if again, I'm not talking down to anybody. I'm trying to help people, but like if you're losing money, you're probably going to keep losing money, you know? And I think a lot of people in trading specifically are really just gambling addicted. Like they're addicted to gambling, right? And they justify it and they make it sound better by trading, right? Because like if you're addicted to gambling, saying, "Hey, I'm trading the stock market" sounds a lot better than saying, "Hey, I'm throwing all the money on the craps table at the casino." You know what I mean? And so I think because of that, you get a lot of gamblers in this market, in these markets. Uh, but again, I think the perfect poker player and the perfect trader, for that matter, is somebody that doesn't really like to gamble like that. Like Carol and I went to the casino. We wanted to play poker. You know, I withdrew like $800 or $1,000 or whatever, and had $1,000 cash on me at the casino. We got to the casino, and they said they didn't have live poker. They said they didn't have live poker. You know, so we get there and I've got this $1,000 cash in my pocket at the casino. And I tell Kara, I'm like, hey, look, like, I don't want to play these low edge games that are just going to, milk money for me over time. Like, we could play a little bit of blackjack, but then let's leave. And so Carol and I sat down for like 10 minutes at the blackjack table. I won a little bit at blackjack. Carol lost a little bit. We ended up getting out break even. We left the casino where we didn't play poker, right? Which basically leaves us with only bad odds of winning money, and we had ended up losing like $30 at the casino, including what we bought at the concessions. And so, you realize very quickly if you're a gambler or not. I think if you're addicted to gambling, if I was addicted to gambling, I would stay there and I would just waste all that money. But again, I just truly don't like the I don't like losing money at all. It's something that I obviously don't like. I think you can also see it in my trade size where I could trade a lot larger than I do, but I think that's kind of what it takes to be a good trader sometimes. Is I think you have to have good money management, and I think a lot of traders don't, unfortunately. Look at the pop up here on Norwegian Cruise. Yeah, I think y'all would be surprised at how many people are truly addicted to losing money. They're addicted to the rush. If they weren't, they would leave when they're ahead. You know what I mean? Nah, I don't want anybody to invest. I'm not taking anybody's money, bro. I don't gamble. I make informed decisions. Yeah, I bet on probabilities is what I call it. Like I try not to gamble. I mean, it depends on your definition. If your definition is risking money, I mean, we're all gambling at life. But if your definition is risking money with unfavorable odds, I'm definitely not doing that. Again, I'm watching Tupperware. Tupperware up to almost 550. Speaking of gambling, we're watching TUP stock, man. What a ridiculous move. Here's Tupperware right here. Look at Tupperware though, guys. So let's zoom out here. Look at this move. Tupperware has gone from July 26th. This thing was at a dollar something a share. It's currently at 530s, still pushing up. Look at this, 535s. No, John, I'm not gonna. Again, I don't want anybody to copy me. I'd prefer not to have people copy me. You know. Yeah, I mean Tupperware. I don't think is gonna have like a big bright future because I just think they're obsolete, and I think there's too much saturation of their products. Not from Tupperware themselves. I think there's saturation of competition is a better way to put it. I think people can make the same thing for Tupperware for very cheap. There's not really anything super distinguishable from Tupperware to everything else. And, I think over time people are going to realize you can spend less and get the same thing. You know what I mean? But again, I think they'll be around. I think it's kind of like AT&T and T and Verizon, where I think they'll probably be around still. I just think they're going to lose market interest over time. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. As a trader for a few years, still trying to figure it out and still losing, how do you differentiate between if I'm addicted to losing or still trying to figure out done for the day between practicing? I'm not gonna say a lot of people aren't like, listen, let me clarify something. I'm not saying everybody's addicted to losing just because you're losing, like what's gonna differentiate that is on your winning days, do you keep pushing, trying to make more, and then end up giving a good day back to a losing day? Right? That's one of the signs of it. How much money you're risking is another sign of it. Like if you're risking huge amounts relative to your account size, if you're trying to make 10 or 20% in a day on your account every day and you're just kind of going hard every day, losing money, but yet you still have to do it, that is a sign of being addicted. Like being addicted to gambling is, I guess, what I would call that. Um, Now, when you compare that to somebody who trades very small and doesn't like to trade very large in trading relative to their account size, that looks for conservative gains in the market as opposed to just looking for home runs every day, who's able to actually sit out a day or two without needing to trade, without forcing trades, that's you got to compare those two and figure out which one you are. And if you're not the last one, that's fine. But the whole point of trading is to work to be that. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, okay? Like I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I think people can watch the stream and understand how careful I am, because I don't. Again, I'm green on toss. I'm green on Mumu. Like on the year, I'm green trading. So there's that. And again, I really don't like losing money. I don't like trading large relative to my account size. I think diversification is the safest means of trading. And if you're going to day trade, I think funded account programs are ultimately much safer than putting up the money yourself. Tupperware. Yeah. Yeah, all good, G. No worries, man. Uh, I guess the best way I could put it, man, is like you're gonna have some people who, again, I've said this before, but they're trading some variation of the martingale, right? Where they're like doubling their size and they're tripling their size, and in order to keep winning every day, they have to take more and more risk until eventually it just clicks and they're done and their account's destroyed because they're just risking too much. Um, you got some traders that do that just kind of keep destroying accounts. They have to be green every day. They keep losing. And then you got some traders that are just very calculated and you just want to be the latter. You want to be calculated. Well, $100 a day is great, but if you're trying to make $100 a day with $1,000 account, you're gonna lose that account eventually, most likely. You know, um, making $100 a day is great if you got 30, 40K, and that's a reasonably small percentage expectation. If you're trying to make $100 a day with a $1,000 account or with a $2,000 account, again, you can try, but and you might make money most of the time doing it, but eventually you're going to destroy your account, and your account's going to be gone, and it's all going to be for nothing. Um, and so it's all about having reasonable expectations relative to your account size. You know, best way I can put it. Again, Tupperware's trying. Spy's still breaking down a little bit. Yeah, but that seems like a terrible idea. A1, no offense. The reality is, like, the sports betting industry is, again, unless you are, I mean, you can make money in sports betting, but if you're actually making legitimate money, you'll get banned from the platform. So what does that mean? Is that most of the people that are left that are allowed to continue trading on the platforms they're using are not winning betters, right? And mostly the market is just being sold to them because they're addicted to gambling, is the reality of it. Some of them are good, but if you're good enough at sports betting, most of the time your platform will boot you off. They'll kick you off. They don't want you taking profit from them every day. Now it's not all of them. It's not universal. Like, there's some good places like DraftKings and stuff like that that are pretty good with it, but it's definitely not every place. And again, I would say most people betting sports, um, you know, are doing so losing money for sure. Uh, what's up, Tobias? I mean, sports betting is incredibly difficult, and again, the ones that succeed are typically doing some type of arbitrage where they're looking for the best odds in any specific sports bet, and they're hedging against their positions. And again, if you do that, there a lot of people are treating sports betting like trades, but if you do that, you're going to get banned from the platform. And it's something that, like, the best sports bettors are taking many, many, many different bets at once and diversifying their bets to find low edge, probabilities, or high edge probabilities, by diversification in sports betting. Like, that's what the winning sports bettors do. Like, they market it as like, oh yeah, this guy is betting on sports and he's making 50K a bet, but those are mostly losing bettors. Like, the people that are betting really big on one specific outcome are typically just selling you a course and selling you picks, and they're losing money, is the reality of it. But again, if you're gullible enough, they'll sell you that like it's just the greatest get rich quick scheme in the world. And again, it's up to you guys to be smart enough to recognize that. Again, the real winning sports bettors are diversifying into high edge setups and high edge outcomes, and then using volume of bets to give them a edge in the end. But again, if you do it like that, which is how you're supposed to do it, you'll get booted off the platform most of the time. Yeah, risk free sports betting. I got a question. I made 500 on S&MP yesterday. Can only do 9 trades a week. I'm day trading very carefully, only looking for one-away stocks till my account grows. Is this a decent tactic? How big is your account? Again, I would just be very careful. It sounds like you're gambling. To be honest, if you're taking huge bets in a small account in penny stocks, and you're trying to make big returns, you might get away with doing that a couple times, and it might mislead you into thinking you've got some big profitable penny stock system. The reality of it is, the more you risk every day, the larger the chance that you'll lose your account, until eventually you'll probably just lose your account if you're trading that way. Again, I'm not saying you are. But again, that's what's happening to a lot of people. Tupperware pulling back a little bit. Again, we're in NCLH. Still green on this one. $1,300 account. Oh yeah, I mean, you could try to do it, but again, let me explain this to you in the easiest way I can. So a lot of penny stock traders that are trading like you are, and I'm not going to say this is you, but I'm saying a lot of penny stock traders looking to earn big percentage returns in their account, and they're getting sold this by like penny stock gurus who are mostly just trying to sell them a course, and a lot of them are not really profitable unless they're pumping up stocks with their following and profiting that way. But again, the martingale roulette strategy means that you double your bet it's a roulette strategy, right? So you double your size every bet until you win, and you'll win a majority of the time using it. But the problem, the fault, the issue with it is that it's not a profitable system. And the reason it's not profitable is because you'll win most of the time with it, you know? And so if you go, say you bet $10, you lose, you bet $20, you lose, you bet $40, you lose, you bet $80, you lose, you bet $160, you lose, you're going to win most of the time doing that. But when you lose, you're going to lose everything you made plus more sometimes if you put up more money, right? And so that's why it's not profitable. And so people are doing the same thing in penny stocks where they're taking huge risks. They're taking huge risks. They're doubling their size. They're adding to losses to where they'll win most of the time doing that in penny stock trading, right? They'll win most of the time. And to a new trader, that might be like, man, I've got this great profitable system where I'm making 30% a day and it's just the greatest, right? The problem is that it's not going to last forever. And eventually you're going to get into that one trade that keeps dropping. You're going to get into that one trade that gets halted and resumes 30, 40, 50% lower. Right. And so you might make money most of the time trading like that, but eventually the check's going to come and you're going to lose everything you have. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I hope it doesn't happen to you, but that's what's happening a lot in penny stocks. Like that's what a lot of is happening to where a lot of these guys really think they've got some super profitable system. Again, the check hasn't come yet is the easiest way to put it. 20 to 30% is a ridiculously huge percentage. So I mean, again, you could trade like that. And I hope it may be, you'll make money. But again, just be careful. The check might come soon. Just be careful. Again, realistic. There's a lot of sensationalized marketing in stocks. If you can make 30% a year, you're elite. Okay. You could do that consistently year after year. Goldman Sachs will hire you. Okay. The reason you don't see a lot of YouTubers working for Goldman Sachs is because very few people are actually doing that. Now, anybody can take a huge risk and gamble and risk their entire account to make a big percentage. I could double down my size right now on the SPY and just keep adding to it and take a huge risk if I want to make 5% today, right? And it might work most of the time. But even again, eventually that trade's going to go against me and I'm going to destroy my whole account. So again, don't let short-term profits mislead you into thinking that the system's profitable. Because again, a lot of people just haven't gotten caught in that one bad trade yet, and it'll happen eventually. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that, King. I'm not gonna. Again, too much drama for me, bro. I don't like all the drama. I'm just trying to help traders and be honest with them so that they don't make the same mistakes that I did when I first got started. Uh, yeah, Uber did miss. Again, the SPY is choppy currently after the 8 a.m. scrum. We still got a little bit of time, but hey, thanks, Justin. All right. So again, we diversified into some dip stocks today. And again, people are asking me what strategy I use. The strategy I mostly use, I day trade. When I day trade, I just trend trade. I trade with trends. It's very simple. I trade with trends. I use the VWAP, the 200 EMA, and then I buy dips most of the time and look to ride the same current trend on a dip. And then if I can build up a cushion of $100 to $200, then I'll be okay with taking larger risks once I do that, right? So if I can build up a cushion of $200, then I can take larger size, because that way, if I lose with larger size, I'm back to break even. I was already up 200. Say I lose $200, I'm back to break even. I can scale back down in size and then try to build up another cushion and swing until I have a larger profit day if I want it, if the market's favorable. Um, Typically, that's how I day trade. Very simple, very easy. Not easy, very simple. With longer term trading, which I think I'm probably a little bit better of a swing trader or an investor than I am day trading. With swing trading, I usually just look for healthy blue chips. uh, I diversify, so I buy a bunch of different ones, but I'm looking for stocks that are either dipping over the last couple weeks or months, or down big on the year, that I think is still going to be a healthy long-term company. Like, to put it into perspective, some of the swing trades we've gotten into over the last few days. Disney, again, we averaged into Disney. It's at about almost 90 cents or $90 a share right now. Average is about 86. Our previous average before we added to it was about 85. And again, some of these are going to be like controversial, and people get weird. Target is another one. We made a bunch on Target. Again, Target was down at lows. The PE ratio is still pretty cheap. Target's still bringing in good money, still pretty busy. We bought Target and rode that up over the last couple of days. Walgreens, another one that's like right around the yearly low for Walgreens. If you look at it, yearly lows are at 28s. We're at 29s right now. We bought the dip, took profit on the bounce yesterday on that one. Um, Exxon we bought this morning. We're also holding Snapchat. We bought Snapchat at the 1060 level. It's over 11s right now. We rode the bounce back. A lot of these I'm buying after big dips from earnings. So like a lot of these companies report earnings, either they're really profitable or they're not, and they just dip really big from it. And then I think there's objective value after the dip, and so I'll buy it up and just sit on it is what I'm doing there. And so we did that. We bought a little bit of Roblox this morning as well. It's at like 39 bucks. We bought some General Mills, ENPH, uh, RTX. We bought a little bit of that and then sold on the bounce yesterday. Honeywell, we bought a little bit of that. We're red on that one though. Yeah, exactly, Shepard. Shepard says, I watched The Wolf of Wall Street last night. Nobody should be buying penny stocks. 100%. But again, you can kind of see the same thing going on in like Wolf of Wall Street that's going on now. Like, you can kind of see the same thing, right? Aerotine International. People are still buying that stuff, man. And again, the quote that Jordan Belfort said, and it's ironic because now he's more famous than ever after that movie, but selling garbage to garbage men. Basically, he's selling crap to like normal everyday workers. You know what I mean? And don't be fooled for that. Like, don't fall for that. I mean, don't be fooled into that. Most penny stocks will fail. And so if you spend all your money investing in them like they're Amazon, you're probably going to lose money. Uh, yeah, I don't know. You could try futures. One of my sponsors, and again, I'm biased in their favor because they're a sponsor of mine, so they pay me money. But a funded account program in futures, when you trade futures, oh, those are penny stocks. Okay, those are considered penny stocks. We're not talking about actual pennies. Most people, and again, new traders don't understand this. So when I first got started trading, I went and saw the movie The Big Short, and I came home and I googled trading and day trading, and what pops up? Tim Sykes, financial freedom, get rich. Look at me, I've made all this money. Again, not hating on Sykes, but the edge is very low in penny stocks, and most of those guys are just making money selling you courses. A large majority of them are just making all their money selling you courses. And again, even if you buy the course, the content that's in those courses is going to be mostly available out there for free. You could probably YouTube a lot of that stuff and find it out there for free. But again, I got trapped in that. I got caught up in that. Understand, like, if you want to day trade, the futures market is probably where you want to go, because the futures market, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade with the margin account. You can day trade the S&P 500, which is the SPY. The patterns are very similar to something like Apple or Amazon, but there's no PDT restrictions in futures. So you can day trade the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. And again, the patterns are very similar to large cap patterns, but there's no PDT restrictions. They also have these funded account programs where it's like most new day traders lose money. And so instead of putting up the money yourself, like I did, where I lost thousands in the first week, you could do one of these funded account programs. Again, the base combine for Top Step right now is $49. So 49 bucks. So if they're going to give you a demo with that. So they're going to give you a 3,000 or a 50K demo account for that for that 49 bucks. And if you can hit 3K in profit without losing over 2K, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, right? So once you're funded, if you make 20K, there's a 90% split, and you get to keep your first 10K, right? So if you make 20K for your first profit, you get to keep 19 of that, which is your first 10K plus 90% after that. And so you have a lot of the same rewards as putting up the money yourself. If you're good enough to pass it, once you're funded, you get 90% split. A lot of the rewards are there. Relative to putting up the money yourself, but the risk is much smaller, right? So it's 49 bucks. If you lose, you're down 49 bucks. And I think most people are going to lose. And again, I am biased in their favor because they're a sponsor of mine and they pay me money. But I still truly think that funded account programs like Top Step are the best thing for traders to do if they really want to learn day trading, because it'll expose it to them. There's limited risk, and it still teaches them how to perform under pressure, because trading is about learning how to perform under pressure. So you still get nervous in these combines, but it's just less risk than putting up 4K yourself and risking that, like a lot of traders, like I did when I first got started. Yeah, there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade short. Yeah, the PDT rule just it doesn't help traders at all. Uh, some people defend it, but the real reason there's the PDT rule is so banks can sit on your money longer. That's all it really is. Banks sit on your money longer. Uh, in the end, the PDT rule hurts traders because it makes new traders who might have access to that capital day trade with a $25,000 account for their first account. Like, why in the world would you make day traders who are new, brand new, put up 25 grand to day trade? That's a terrible idea. That's like giving somebody a Ferrari for their first car. You know what I mean? Like, just a horrible idea. It doesn't help traders whatsoever. It just makes traders risk more in the beginning if they want to actively trade. And if they don't have 25K, they're severely restricted. They can only day trade a couple times a week. And like, the variance is there. It's kind of like you have to get a lot of reps in to let like a favorable edge play out long term. And so restricting somebody to take 3 trades a week is just going to restrict them to where it's basically useless, and you're going to call some people who actually have 25K to risk 25K for their first day trading account. It's just the dumbest rule ever, to be honest. But I got funded in that account, Ruma, within about 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, well, Doe. Doe is I'm talking about Top Step, which is a funded program for futures. And so again, they're going to give you a demo account, and it's a challenge, it's a test. If you can pass the challenge or test, then they fund you between 50 to 150K. But again, you can see the link in the description. It's also in the chat just now. Oh, is my music off? Oh, sorry, guys. There you go. Again, the markets break it down a little bit, but yeah, NKLA, didn't they have earnings? Was it yesterday that they had earnings? They're up a little bit. I just don't trust them at all. Weren't they the ones that rolled the semi truck down the hill to look like it was actually functioning when it wasn't? Was it that NKLA? I might be wrong. They're gonna have like there's max losses that you can't hit, Jeff. So like they're not gonna let you just YOLO the account. There's gonna be a max loss. Same thing with the funded account. Like there's a max loss. You can't hit a certain amount of losses. They're gonna automatically exit trades if you hit those losses, which is reasonable if they're putting up the money. They're taking the risk. I think it was NKLA. Yeah. What stocks are you watching for the day? I'm watching a bunch of them today. I'm watching Exxon, Walgreens, TSN, Target, Snapchat, RTX, Roblox, Honeywell, General Mills, Enphase, Disney, a couple other ones. We're going to be trading futures today, though. And again, we got ISM data. We got Redbook data coming in today, too. But again, we got AMD earnings after the bell today that we're going to be streaming. All right, so BLK and MSCI is facing looks for facilitating some investments overseas. Miami's population fell for the first time in decades. We got the Purchasing Managers Index dropping for July at 945 for the S&P Global PMI, and the ISM Manufacturing Index at 10. Again, today we had Pfizer, Merck, Uber, Caterpillar, and Norwegian Cruise earnings. After the bell, we got AMD, SB, Starbucks, and Marriott. For day trades, I'm going to be day trading the NASDAQ current. I'm going to be day trading mostly the NASDAQ today, maybe the S&P. Yeah, I don't know about McDonald's. I'm going to preface it with I have no idea what McDonald's is going to do. Not an investment professional, not liable. If you lose, you always got to make your own assessment, trade responsibly. I see they dropped earnings a couple days ago. I don't know what the earnings were. They're pretty flat. McDonald's has been pretty sideways since May, basically the beginning of May. So they've been pretty flat. They're right around the yearly highs. The highs of the year at 299.30s. 290 seems like a level. 290 seems like a low that I'd watch. But again, I have no idea what it's going to do. Good luck. Hope you make money. Yeah, Apple's been pretty flat too, in all honesty. All right, well, good luck, time. Yeah, where's Bitcoin at today? Bitcoin all the way down under 29K for Bitcoin, testing lows, 28.9. Also, if you haven't checked out Moomoo, the platform I'm currently using is Moomoo. It is one of the reasons I moved from Toss to Moomoo is because it's just a really nice, useful platform that allows you to get free stocks as well. And again, there's zero commission in stock trades, right? So this is Moomoo. This is the platform I switched from Toss on. Incredibly useful, incredibly useful. If you pull this up, there's just so many different things that you can use this platform for. My favorite one specifically is their Paperfolio section, which allows you to look at what traders are up on the month total, how many fans they have. Like this guy's got 535, this guy's got 150 fans, and you can see what they're making money on the month. Like this person's up 31% basically on the month. They're holding Fubo, Palantir, Grab, C, Taiwan Semiconductors, Magic Empire, and a couple other ones. And I can follow them, see when they buy stuff, see what their transactions were, what sectors they're holding, and all that good stuff. Just really useful for learning how to build a portfolio and trade. And you can see what everybody else is buying and then kind of mimic them if you want. Again, just pretty useful. You can also see like their news source is some of the best in the game. So like if we look at their calendar, people always ask me how I know what's going out today. I can look at their calendar, go to economic data and type in 3-star, which is the biggest ones. And we can see like today in the US, I want North America. We got Jolts, we got manufacturing PMI dropping at 10. Tomorrow we got ADP non-farm employment change, crude oils, jobless inventories on Thursday. And so we got a bunch of different things that we can watch and use here. I could also go to earnings and see what's after today. I can put positions, see what's on the week, on the month, see what drops this morning, after hours. Just really useful. I could also go to explore. And again, this is a free platform. It doesn't cost a penny. I've been building scanners here to see what like good low PE companies are that are around the 20-day low. That's how I found Honeywell, Lockheed Martin. I could also put up market hotspots, see a heat map, see what's going on with them. Best performing sectors, silver, SPACs, LIDAR. I can look at pre-market to see what's moving big. S&P is on the list, AMSC, two really big percentage movers. I can look at what's hot right now. Again, S&P on that one, IPOs. I can look at broker ratings, build screeners. I can look at strategies and see a bullish triangle, a double top, triple top. Their news source is really useful as well. And this one report gives you like a breakdown on everything this morning that I use for a lot as well. Again, zero commission stock trades. If you open up an account and deposit at least $100, they give you 5 free stocks. You deposit at least 1,000, they give you 15 free stocks. And I got like Palantir and some other ones. If you open up a deposit over 5K, they give you the previous 15 plus a free share of Google or Tesla. So pretty useful. If you want to check them out, here is the link. They are a sponsor of mine. Great way to help support the channel. There's the link right there. Check it out. Yeah, I'm not sure about your phone. I use the desktop ad or the desktop platform, and it's really nice. Again, we're looking at SoFi, looking at a couple other ones here. Let me get this out of the way. Again, Norwegian Cruise starting to break down, but again, we're still green on the trade overall. We took profit already. So we could be a little bit more loose with that and see if we bounce back up and then keep a tight risk, I think is what we're going to do. Really nice graph. So again, here is my July in terms of Moomoo price action. So like here is my profit graph on Moomoo for July. So that is my profit graph on Moomoo. Not a bad little graph. We started off, we lost a little bit in the beginning, but we basically rebounded really nice with our trades. A lot of this was Walgreens. We had that Walgreens swing trade that treated us nicely. It's GCOG, I believe, is the gold symbol. It's GCU3, I believe, is what the gold symbol would be. Let me test that for you, but I'm pretty sure it's GCU3. It's going to be the gold ETF symbol. Yeah, so gold futures are GC. The gold doesn't really have that much volatility, though, to be honest. So it's more of like a longer term trade. Chat, you might be able to answer this a little bit better than I can. Yeah, you can trade gold on Top Step. Look. You can trade, yeah, I mean, here's gold right here. You can trade gold, silver, micro gold, copper, micro silver, platinum. You could trade 2-year notes, 10-year notes, 30-year bonds, euro dollar, ultra bonds, 10-year ultra notes, 5-year notes. You could trade the Dow, the micro Dow. You could trade coins, soybean oil, wheat,
crude oil, natty gas, micro crude oil, heating oil, RBOB gas, E-mini natty gas, E-mini crude, live cattle, lean hogs, Australian dollar, British pound, Euro FS, Swiss franc, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, E-mini Euro FX, micro Australian US dollar, New Zealand dollar. You can trade the E-mini, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the micro ETH, micro Bitcoin. You can trade the micro E-mini Russell and a couple other ones. So yeah, you could definitely trade gold. Okay, well, good luck with that, Alexis. Oh yeah, so Pawn says on the Moomoo app you can find it under Discovery. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. We appreciate it. Market opens up in about 45 minutes, about 50 minutes. Again, today we got the Jolts job report at 10. That's the big release today, the Jolts report. Yeah, I mean, you can't trade the gold Forex pair, but you could trade gold itself, which is basically the gold Forex pair. Like if you look up, let me see what gold price right now. Yeah, gold US dollar price was at about 19.5K. The GC futures contract is at about 19.5K. So it's the same price action. It's the same thing. Not exactly the same. Nothing's exactly the same, but the futures market, it's the same thing in that the E-mini is the same thing as the S&P 500. The NQ is the same thing as the NASDAQ. You know, it's the same price action. Yeah, Pfizer had earnings today also. Market looks weak right now. Get a little bounce back up. The question is, does the SPY continue this breakdown? I'm not sure. All right, so the SEC alleges that Richard Hart used at least $12 million in investors' fund to purchase luxury goods. And you can see him just... What a ridiculous guy. Why would you ever need that much luxury stuff? Especially if you're somebody like that, bro. Like, listen, if you're somebody like that, you got to put your money in like appreciating assets, not depreciating assets. NKLA. Yeah, NKLA flying up right now, guys. Wow. Here, I'm going to put this up on screen. Don't they have earnings today or was it tomorrow? Let me see. I'm gonna go to the bathroom break. So they drop earnings on August. I'm gonna do a question while we're at the bathroom break. Will NKLA hold its gains heading into earnings? Will NKLA hold its gains heading into earnings? Vote on that poll. Let me know. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom. Wow, man. Look at NKLA rip up, dude. Look at that. 325s right now for NKLA. Again, to quote Kid Cudi, sometimes what shines isn't always gold, guys. Look at NKLA rip it up. Y'all be careful, man. Again, I don't know what this one's going to do. Who knows, but how long until today's next news? 10 a.m. So we got about an hour and 13 minutes until the next one drops. Thoughts on AMD earnings? I'm not sure. I think it'll be interesting to tell. But man, look at NKLA rip. Here's the SPY on the left side. NKLA up to 330 basically right now. What a crazy move. I don't know. I would just be careful with NKLA. Again, I don't know what it's going to do. Just be careful. Up to 330s. Let me look at our poll numbers. We did a couple polls. We asked people, does the market close green today? 58% said yes. 42% said no. Man, look at NKLA though, guys, at 340s. Again, they do have earnings on the 4th. So Friday, they drop theirs before the bell, which is going to be huge. Fubo earnings as well. Yeah, Fubo. I actually use Fubo service, but yeah, the news on again, the news on NKLA is this: they struck a deal with JB Hunt to sell electric trucks to them, and as well as they got an additional grant for hydrogen infrastructure in California, infrastructure in Cali. But the grant news is probably the biggest ones. Here is the news right here. That's why they're pumping up right now. Again, NKLA at 10 or at 340s right now, hit 345s, almost 350. 350s right here. Let's see if it hits it, but big move. There's 350 right there. It's getting pretty close. It's at 341s right now. Still big, still pretty big move. All right, almost back up to 350s for NKLA. Again, you can see that support level. We're watching it pretty close. It's too small for me. I'm not really one to buy up like really speculative companies. I mean, I could diversify into some like potential growth companies, but I don't know if Fubo's it. You know what I mean? It depends on what their earnings show up as. I just don't know. I don't know enough to really say yes. Jolts job report is a report that drops today, along with manufacturing purchasing managers index. A survey done by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. It measures job vacancies, is what the Jolts job report does. It collects data about business employment, job openings, recruitment, hires, and separations. It defines job openings as all positions that are open and not filled on the last business day of the month. It's open if it meets these three specific criteria, which are: a specific position exists and there's work available for that position. The job could start within 30 days. And there's an active recruitment for workers from outside the established location. So basically, higher job openings means more economic growth. Is the way you want to look at it. They're expecting 9.6 million job openings for Jolts. Last time it came in at 9.82, so a little bit of a drop relative to last month. We also have manufacturing numbers, ISM specific manufacturing numbers dropping at 10 a.m. It's expected at 46.8, and the PMI data, it's business data compiled from monthly replies to questions in over 400 companies. So higher means more manufacturing growth, lower means less manufacturing growth. And then we also have just base manufacturing PMI at 945. Over 50, it means expanding in that sector. Below 50 indicates contracting in that sector for base manufacturing PMI. And again, we'll see what happens, but there goes NKLA still trying. The SPY is pretty flat, although I do think we could be in a downward trend to a certain extent. Yeah, all good, Alexis. I understand. Yeah, I mean, what I would say though, Alexis, is If you're trying to day trade, it's one thing, but if you're trying to swing trade, big pullback on NKLA. Look at this pullback, guys. Big pullback on NKLA. Again, look at that dip down to 330s. What I would say is, like, if you're swing trading or investing, even if you only can buy 5 shares or 10 shares of a blue chip company, you're still going to have an easier time picking winners buying 5 or 10 shares, and the money that you're going to make is going to be comparable in my opinion to what you would make doing the same thing in a smaller cap stock. Like, just because you have more shares doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make more money. And so what I would do if I could start over is just buy blue chip healthy companies, but smaller share size, instead of buying large share size and penny stocks, which have a very much less of an edge, I should say. I would just go back over and buy blue chips and just buy 5 shares, 10 shares if I could. But again, that's me. Everybody's different. All right, there's a dip at 330s for NKLA. Still crazy movement. Yeah, they could be diluting with an offering. We'll have to check the filings. Again, NKLA at 330s. Yeah, all good. Again, we're a little red on our day, but yesterday we made so much scaling out of those trades that we got a nice little week so far in swings. We added some more today too. Again, one thing I'm looking for the rest of the earnings reports is I'm looking for blue chip companies that have big pullbacks from their earnings. If they do, I might buy up some for longer term and just take that opportunity to establish longer term trades. All right, big pullback. So the selling fear is starting to start. It bounced back up to 320s. Again, the SPY's still red. Pull him right back down to the volume weighted average price. So if you look at the VWAP here on this one, let me manage indicators. I want this. No. Let me reset this. Settings, indicators. We want the 200 EMA. We don't really want any of the other ones. And then we also want the VWAP here. I'm gonna make this purple. And there we go. But yeah, you can see if we dip. The reason I watch the VWAP is because, like, look at that pullback right to the VWAP level, right around the same spot. All right, bounce right at the volume weighted average price. Look at that bounce exactly at it. Let me look for the EMA here. Let me try to fix this. I need the moving average. VWAP. I want this one. It's the 200 moving average. Where's the EMA? There's the moving average. It's just the regular 200. I'm going to reset this. Oh no. I'll have to go find it. That's way too many. Let's keep the VWAP up. No, I don't really mess with Fibonacci retracements. Yeah, does anybody know if there's filings for NKLA in terms of offering registrations? That's the biggest risk for NKLA is like a lot of the time companies pump themselves up, and if they have offerings that are filed, then they can dilute the company and sell shares at the highest possible price, which is what they want because they'll make the most money from it. But it is dilution, and a lot of the times it'll just absolutely tank the stock. The stock will drop huge percentages, and that's always a risk on these low float stocks that have big run ups like this. So just be careful. Let me know if anybody can find filings for this. I think it's important to look for, especially if you're putting any money in this one, because you might be, oh no, the company would never do that. They do, and especially this company who's been caught for fraud. They run an EV brand, and they got caught rolling their semi truck EV down a hill to make it look like it was functioning when it really wasn't. And then they made a marketing video based around it. It was huge. It was a huge thing when it happened, and everybody laughed at them for it. And so, point is, I wouldn't put it past the company to do what they got to do, but yeah, y'all just be careful. It's a little dip. All right, so there's a bounce from 330s. Again, one of my favorite strategies that I've talked about a lot is when you get a bounce off the VWAP. I call it the VWAP retest. You bounce off the VWAP, and then you have a small little dip. And then point is you buy that dip here, and then you ride it for a rebound bounce. And it doesn't always work. I call it a VWAP rebound bounce is what I call it. There's a couple ways I call it, but that typically is one of my favorite setups on the long side. I don't know how well it's going to work in low cap stocks, though. But that's typically one of my favorite setups that I use. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a better company now, but again, I'm skeptical. Gold breaking down a little bit. All right, so we're gonna get ready to trade some futures. There's a pretty big pullback on NKLA. SPY starting to bounce up a little bit too here. So we are starting to get a bounce up in the SPY. And again, we're going to get ready to trade some futures. There's Tesla on the bottom right. I'm also going to put, since NKLA has been going so crazy today, we're going to put this up on the right side too. Make it a little bit more obvious. And then we're going to get ready to trade some futures today. Again, we're in our Express account. Goal is to build up a cushion small. And then once we have that cushion, we swing larger once we have that cushion built. And so let's put up the, I'm going to put the E-mini up currently. There's a little bounce back. All right, so the NASDAQ's starting to bounce back a little bit more now. Yeah, I see Bitcoin dropping. Bitcoin down to 28. So we're pulling back a little bit now. We're watching that. All right, so we're building up a cushion in one of these accounts. Goal is to get funded in a couple of these accounts this week. Got a nice little cushion. Let's see if we can break down some more. And then we're looking at a couple other things. Watching the E-mini and the SPY. All right, so this is a regular E-mini. We are getting a flush. Again, I'm in a couple trades, but What a bounce in the market. Yeah, I mean, the market looks like it wants to bounce back. Yeah, we're taking a few scalps, but market's a little flat. We're going to wait for the opening bell. NKLA consolidating over 325, which I think is a great sign at first. Um, hey, later, pawn. Again, the goal in the express funded account is to build up a cushion first. Part of me wants to short this, but I also don't really trust any trend yet, and I'd rather wait and let the market try first. There we go. Yeah, I've been long on a couple trades. You can see this trade I'm currently in right now, but again, I don't want to. A lot of the time, the liquidity is lower in pre-market, especially pre-market on earnings days. We still got like 18 minutes left until the market opens, so we still got a little bit of time. But we got a nice little $300 cushion in this one. No, I'm not trading this account at all yet. I'm waiting for the opening bell. I'm trading in some of my other combine accounts early, but I got 4 different monitors, so I'm on another screen. Again, we got Jolts report coming out in about 45 minutes or so. And you can kind of see the E-mini has been on a longer term downtrend. The question is, do we continue this downtrend? I don't think so. I think the trend just broke. I think it looked like this prior, but I think it just broke. Starting to get a little rebound back up and see maybe like another upward trend here. NKLA still consolidating around the pullback zone of like 325s or so. Tesla starting to fight back a little bit at 265s. But yeah, there's this upward trend starting to form. I'm going to draw this out. See if we can get a good one drawn here, though. But I think this might be the start of a new trend. That's what we got so far. Let's see if we follow this trend. If we follow this trend, great. We might have a little pullback area to buy, but that's what we see so far. A little 1 minute trend, though. It's not like a super long-term trend. All right, so Tesla, again, we're still consolidating. The NASDAQ is something that we also traded a couple times in one of these other accounts. NASDAQ bouncing almost up to 15.8 thousand for the NASDAQ. Again, we'll see if we follow this trend. This is what I'm watching right now. Again, we look to be in this trend so far. I need a larger pullback. I don't want to get FOMO, but if we get a pullback here, we'll buy this. We might not get it though. Jobs report is at 9:45 and 10 a.m. So we got like 45 minutes. One of them drops in like 30 minutes. All good, Sam. No worries, man. Again, ideally, I'd like to see a little bit more of a pullback here before I buy this. But it's also something where the opening bell is in less than 15 minutes. All right, so we're going to start there. We got one contract to the micro. Again, goal is to build up a small cushion. All right, so we're about flat on the trade. Again, I'd like to see if it moves back up to test the top of that trend line. Watching the NASDAQ too. Again, completely flat on the trade so far. 12 minutes or so into the open. Little bounce up on the Natty or the NASDAQ. Not Natty gas. NASDAQ. Go ahead and cut that too. Take my little trade there. Again, flat on this trade. If I can make 25, 40, 30, 40 bucks on the trade, I'm happy. Because again, the goal is to build up a cushion. All right, so we just made 25 bucks. Again, goal is to build up a cushion here. And so we're up 25 on the day. Nice. Again, job is to build up a cushion. And then once we do, we can maybe move on to trading the actual NASDAQ. But again, I want to build up a cushion first. And then once I have a cushion, I'll take a larger swing in this account. Usually once you get your credentials, it's there, Kevin, but it varies, I guess. Can y'all hear the music? Sorry, I'm gonna make sure y'all can hear. Okay. Also wanted to, and so again, so far, here's one of our combine accounts. Again, you can kind of see we're up about 300. Same strategy I typically do though, guys. So like, again, I build up a cushion, as you can see here, of $100 to $200. Then we take larger risks. You can see we lost on this one. Built up another cushion, took larger risks, and then now we're up about 300 on the day. And so at no point of the day were we red more than $50 trading this type of system where our risk is limited, but the reward is a lot of the same. And I probably could have held this trade a little bit longer, but again, I want to build up a cushion. I'd actually prefer to trade the NASDAQ over the E-mini. It's easier to trade for me, although it is more volatile for sure. Yeah, but I think people I think what happens is, like, I think people might be bearish long term, right? But like they let that get them so emotional that like any short term trade, like I see it all the time where it's like somebody's really bearish, you know, and then if I like take a short term long trade, day trade, right? Then they're mad at me. They're like, oh, and it's like you should never let your bias long term impact your short term decisions. Like I might hold something for 30 seconds, you know, it doesn't mean that it's not going to go down long term. I mean, betting against the market long term is a sucker's bet. It's long term that is. Now, medium term, we don't know what the market's going to do. Short term, we don't know what the market's going to do. We know if we zoom out enough, the market's going to go up long term, and that is statistically proven over a century. Now we might have crashes, pullbacks in between then, but like generally the market's going to go up long term, and that's the biggest, most profound edge the market gives you. But short term, we can take any direction. Right now we got this little trend on the upside, but again, prior to this, we were in a little downtrend. You can kind of see the downtrend here, and so it's not like I think people are too rigid with their bias, and I think you got to be able to take positions on both sides of the trading spectrum. But so far, we'll see if this trend even holds. It's a pretty new trend. We can even it out a little bit, make it like this, which is probably a little bit more reasonable. So this bounce here will be really telling. NKLA starting to push back up. It's at 330s. Yeah, the Nasdaq's in a little trend too. I've been watching, but again, this is like the make it or break it spot. If we break this trend, anything could happen. This is just a little short-term trend on the S&P. All right, 7 minutes, 7 minutes. Yeah, I'm watching Tupperware. I'm watching NKLA, watching all these different ones. Might have to broaden the trend out a little bit to see if it holds, which it might. All right, guys. 6 minutes. You red or green so far today, guys? Green or red? I am red pretty much in everything. My swing trades are a little red today, but not much. We made so much money on them yesterday that like today we added some new ones, and so those are down, but slight. Day trading, we're green. Catch back from the chat. Green, no trades. Red, up about 2.5K. Green, green. Yeah, what's NVIDIA doing? Yeah, we're at 465s for NVIDIA right now, 465s. So we'll see if we bounce up there. But NVIDIA, red on the day, flat yesterday, break-even day. One thing that might move NVIDIA on sympathy is AMD earnings today. So a lot of people are going to be paying attention to AMD. AMD getting a little pop-up short-term too. What are my short-term positions? I just bought a little bit of Exxon, Walgreens, Tyson Foods, Target, Snapchat, RTX, Roblox, Honeywell, General Mills, Enphase, Disney, but a lot of these were green. Like we took profit on Disney yesterday, mostly. We're holding very small position now. And our average is at about 85s to 86s, and it's currently at about 89 right now. We bought Enphase today. We bought General Mills. We bought Exxon. The other trades we took profit on, like we bought the dip on Target, made money on that one. We bought the dip on Snapchat, made money on that one. We bought the dip on RTX, made money on that one. We're down on Honeywell. We're up on Disney, up on Walgreens, and then today we bought Exxon, General Mills. How much a stock must go down to make a decision. It's not about how much it goes down short term. It's how much it's down long term, as well as maybe earnings. It depends. The earnings plays I'll take are like if a company drops earnings and the stock falls big percentage wise, I'll buy that dip sometimes. But those are usually much shorter term trades that I don't hold on to long term. I think either one would be fine. It depends on if it makes me money short term. Northwest Exxon's going to be fine long term, and so if it makes me money short term, I'll probably take some profit off of it. But if not, I'll probably hold it long term. But I don't know. Caterpillar also dropped their earnings this morning. So we might have broken out this trend, and again, it was a very short-term trend. So I mean, we could widen this trend. I still think the trend's still there, but maybe it's a longer term trend that we're in. But we got to be careful. Tesla just ripped up. Look at Tesla up to 266. See, there's some news there. All right, so NIO's July deliveries double, but stocks set to snap long winning streak. Huge delivery numbers from NIO and Lee and Xpeng are good for Tesla. So Tesla up on sympathy, I guess, from other EV brands doing some good production numbers. Tesla's also looking for $100 million to build a semi-truck charging route from Texas to Cali. But yeah, Tesla popping up a little bit. NKLA dipping back down to 320s here. 320s for NKLA. Yeah, Google dipping down some. It looks like because they said they might have to lay off some people for AI. Yeah, supercharged AI upgrade. So jobs are at risk, is what they're saying. All right, guys, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Y'all be ready. All right, here's the opening bell. Again, Tesla's still moving up. All right, there's the open. Big green action on the E-mini here. Walgreens bouncing up a little bit. Big green action and then a big flush. Consolidating in this trend that we've been in. Looks like it still wants to hold it. Part of me wants to buy this, but I'm skeptical. But Tesla dipping heavy, NKLA dipping heavy. Walgreens ramping up big. That's nice. My portfolio is doing much better after the bell today. Part of me wants to buy the dip, but I also see Tesla falling down. Should have bought that dip. I think the trend's holding. Google bouncing back some too. Should have bought it. Look at that run. Look at Tesla dip. Tesla down to 264s. I gotta watch, like, I gotta let the volume play out a little bit, but we are watching the trend here. Apple sideways, Microsoft sideways, AMD down some. Depends if we break this trend or not. I'm gonna buy this dip. We got it. We already got a little cushion on the day. There we go. All right, so we just made a little bit more. Again, building up that cushion on the day now. We got about $50 cushion. Little scalp there, trying to build up some cushion after the open. AMD about to break lows. Again, Tesla's been weak, man. I could have held a little bit longer, but again, the goal is to build up a cushion first. And then once we got a cushion of a couple $100, then we'll add a little bit more to this. But so far, we got a small cushion. Market's starting to pop. Watching other stuff, pretty flat on the day and everything else. We got this little dip here. Tesla's still testing lows. NKLA breaking down to $3 a share. Again, we're pretty quiet now. I'm not pushing too heavy. We do have Jolts dropping in a couple minutes and PMI data dropping in a couple minutes as well. So y'all be ready for that. The trend is on the upside. Part of me wants to buy some more, but I see Tesla testing these lows. I got to trust my intuition with day trades sometimes, I think. Nice little rip up. This trend's still holding here, man. So there's the trend. It's been in this trend all morning. Or, you know, we started this trend really early and it's been holding the trend. The problem is now we're at the top of the trend line, which is a little bit of a vulnerable spot for me here, I think. Yeah, luckily we took some profit off of Target yesterday and Walgreens. And so we had a little bitty piece left. Still green on the trade. All the way at the top of the range, though. The market's actually bouncing back. The problem is Tesla's dipping down under these lows. Coinbase is probably just going to follow Bitcoin, though. Coinbase is down to 92s. Again, if we get some the market's actually doing well, but we're at the top of the trend line, so I'm just gonna wait. Again, we got PMI data in about 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. Still at the very top of the trend line. Tesla consolidating around the lows, but again, too extended for me to buy it on day trading. We're gonna have to wait for a little pullback here. We're also watching like the NASDAQ a little bit too. Disney's still pumping up despite all this stuff, which is cool. Man, market ripped up past this trend line here. We'll leave it if it doesn't hold and keep the trend up. Tesla is starting to, it tried to bounce back. It's starting to dip a little bit back down now. But again, we're just up a little bit too much. We'll see if this trend holds. Nvidia should go above 40. What's microchips doing? Again, and AMD earnings today might influence this a lot. Tesla starting to bounce back up. Look at NKLA back up to 315s. And so we're definitely going to watch AMD earnings today. Also, guys, we got PMI data in a couple minutes too. We're going to throw it in sub-only mode. So if you haven't already hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. All right, so look at this trend, man. This trend we drew still working pretty well. Again, we got some of a cushion, but I'd like to see a little bit larger of a pullback first before we take any big trades now. Watching the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's not giving us as obvious of a trend. Tesla at 264s. Got a little retracement candle here. But again, I don't really have much edge. I was thinking about buying that, but again, we're going to wait for PMI data, which comes out in 5 minutes to influence this. Again, nicely green on Disney still pushing up for Disney. One of my best trades in a while. ENPH, we're green on that one on the day. We're green on Roblox. We're green on RTX on the day. Everything else we're kind of neutral, but Disney helping us out. And Disney up to basically $90 a share. I'm going to lock a little bit more profit in there. Still holding a piece of it, but just so green. We got to take a little bit of profit there, I think. It's kind of funny. It's like people get so mad at me for buying Disney, but then whenever Disney rips up, it's just silence. You know, it's like people just hate them for political reasons. I don't care about any of that stuff. You know, if I think it's objective value, I try to find it wherever it can be found. You know, I don't care what the stock is. Apple is helping. Yeah, Apple's over previous closing price, technically green on the day. I'm going to wait for a large enough pullback to buy the E-mini here. I just don't like this dip yet. We're in an upward trend, obviously, but we're not close enough to the bottom of the trend line for me to be interested there. Apple's still surging up, helping the market a lot. I like my little portfolio. Texas starting to bounce back up, or Tesla starting to bounce back up. We get another pullback, I might buy the E-mini here. We got a lot of down wicks, which indicates some buying pressure. There's the bounce. We need a large enough pullback if I'm going to buy this. It looks okay. There's NKLA breaking down to 310s. Again, we got PMI data in about 2 minutes, guys. So just understand this might influence the market some. The big release for PMI data is going to be at 10 a.m. in about 15 minutes. A little bit over 15 minutes. But we do have this data dropping sometime soon. So just be on the watch out for this. A minute and a half left. Is TUP ramping up that much? People talking about TUP. Oh, it's still flat on the day. Neutral. Yeah, it's flat on the day, neutral. All right, here goes the PMI data in less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute. Again, I've stopped trading until this data comes out, and then we're going to have a 15-minute window until the ISM data drops at 10. Yeah, Google bouncing all the way back. It's at 132.50s, basically all the way back to where it was prior to the drop. And this is why I always buy up on big pullbacks like this. Like I buy these dips because typically these dips rebound. I didn't actually take it on Google, but emotion gets in play there, you know, where like new traders sometimes are going to say, oh, well, it dropped big percentages. Maybe it's going to keep dropping. Experienced traders are going to say, hey, it dropped big percentages. It's probably objectively cheap now, you know, so let me buy it up. It's kind of the reverse mindset. Here goes the market pulling back here. Here goes the PMI data right now too. So PMI ended up showing up today, guys, at 49. 49 is what PMI data showed. Again, we're 3 seconds later. 49 is what it showed versus 49. So PMI data came in as expected. It's basically nothing. I'm going to let this settle down a little bit and maybe buy this dip since we're at the bottom of the trend line now. If we do get a settle, which we might not. Again, the ISM data is going to be the big one, though. A little late on the dip, but I wanted to let the ISM data or the PMI data reflect a little bit. We did get a bounce back up. I just hope we don't rebound all the way back up. I hope we get a little pullback to the bottom of the trend enough for me to enter. A little bit of FOMO maybe, but all good. All right, so we just bought a little bit, not quite enough for me to be happy with it yet. Let's see if we get a bounce back up. I want to give it time. Good enough entry to let it work to the top of the range if it does follow this trend, and if not, we're pretty much flat on the day, which is looking like it might be closer to that. We start to crack here. Yeah, that's a pretty big drop. And then a big retracement back up. I'm going to go ahead and buy 2 contracts there, take a swing and see if we get the bounce back up. We tested the bottom of that trend. We got to watch Tessie though here. Almost about to cut it. Luckily, we had a cushion on the day, which is why we take these risks. Yeah, we're going to have to cut it. So another small losing day, not a big day yet. But yeah, just trying to catch these trends. We might be able to catch another one here, but I don't want to risk too much either. You know what I mean? We'll see what the NASDAQ gives us. But maybe the NASDAQ's going to give us an easier range than this. Market's still moving back up some. Bounced right at the bottom of that trend line. Just got to be careful. Tesla's very choppy. I think the whole market with like AMD earnings coming out today might be very volatile. Or very choppy, I mean, the opposite of volatile. Again, the goal on this funded account is to build up a cushion and take swings. If we can't build up a cushion and take swings, we're going to have to just chill. So we're just waiting for a good edge. We're still in this trend on the E-mini, but we got to let it work a little bit, see if we got a higher edge, a bigger edge here. Our stock trades are doing a little bit better too. Still in this trend. Let's see if the bottom of this trend line holds. We're still got about 10 minutes before the ISM data, and the ISM data is a much bigger release than just the base PMI, and so it's something that you definitely want to watch in about 10 minutes. But leading up to that, we might get slight volatility, so we're just going to wait for the report to drop first. Very choppy movement ahead of this, though, so y'all be careful. Such a volatile range. We're also watching the NASDAQ too. Such a volatile range for that one. Got to watch Tesla pretty closely here also. Let me know if you guys are green since the opening bell. Remember, we got 9 minutes before the ISM PMI data. 9 minutes. Very choppy price action. The last 5 minutes has basically been neutral on the NASDAQ and neutral on the E-mini also. So just very choppy action, guys. Y'all be safe. All right, so we just made another $150 on the long dip on the NASDAQ. We are now up about $40 on the day. Here's our E-mini trades for the day. So we're kind of back and forth, slightly green again, but just choppy. So again, we're green on the day on the express funded account, but not by much. And again, the job is still to build up a cushion, a small cushion first, but like with the previous price action here, it's just not the best price action. We're just kind of going like this currently. And so I think a lot of the market is waiting for Jolts to come out, as well as ISM manufacturing data. These are both pretty big releases. They're not huge. They're not like CPI or anything like that, but they're decent enough to cause influence over the market. PMI numbers aren't out. The base one, the previous PMI numbers did show up. They came in at, as expected, at 49. So this number is right here. But again, the bigger ISM PMI numbers, as well as the Jolts report, which is job openings, is what the Jolts report is. Here's the PMI numbers right here. But the ISM numbers show up in about 6 minutes, followed along with the Jolts report. But we're getting a pretty choppy neutral day. Again, you can kind of see the trend that we've been watching. No guarantee that it's actually going to hold. And again, maybe we can make it a larger trend to see kind of the upward trend like this. But we break down under here, we'll look for maybe this to turn into resistance, this bottom trend line. Could also be maybe right there, but we'll let it test. Apple's still green on the day. All right, there's more green action. So E-mini starting to push up ahead of it. There's Tupperware on the bottom. You can see NKLA on the top right at 320s. Here's Tesla. Still breaking lows. But the market's starting to head back up. At least it's still in this trend line that we drew. Again, we got less than 5 minutes. I'm going to take a little scalp right here, but it's going to be a very quick scalp. See if we get some upward action ahead of this. My plan is to exit before the ISM data. So if I can get a little baby gain from this, that's great. If not, it should be small regardless. And again, I got to get out before the ISM release. Slightly green. Very choppy price action though. Not the easiest stuff to trade. And again, I do got to get out before the ISM numbers. There we go. All right, so we just made 25 bucks, just made a little bit more. Again, up about $60, $70 on the day. Got a little cushion again. So now we're going to take swing number 2 now that we built up a cushion twice. We need a little bit larger of a cushion first, and I do want to wait for the ISM data to release first as well as jobs because, if I'm in a position when that stuff comes out, it can be really volatile. So I'd rather just wait. Again, Jolts is expected to show up today, guys, at 9.61 million job openings for the Jolts report. ISM data is expected at 46.8. 46.8. Again, 9.61 Jolts job openings expectations. So higher than that will be above expectations, which means more economic growth. ISM PMI is expected at 46.8. Again, with PMI data, it's just manufacturing growth versus weakness. So higher PMI data will mean more manufacturing growth, more economic growth, which, depending on whether we're fearing recession, inflation, is going to indicate which type of reaction we're going to get in markets. All right, job report comes out in about 2.5 minutes, a little bit less than that, actually. Again, what are your expectations for this job report, guys? We got 2.5 minutes. We got this 5-minute or this 1-minute trend that we've been drawing all morning. It's pretty, it's been there all morning, essentially. Two minutes. Again, Jolt is expected at 9.61 million. ISM PMI is expected at 46.8. We got a little bit under 550 people here, which is definitely not bad for 10 a.m. And so again, if you haven't already subscribed, we cover economic data for free. We cover it quickly. Is why we get people tuning into our stream. It's because you could either pay $30K for Bloomberg Terminal, or you could sub to Beginner Trading, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. My whole goal is to be a resource and community for traders where I don't sell a course. I don't have paywalls behind my content. I don't even claim to be a good trader. We just report economic data, trade live every day. If you haven't already subscribed, we certainly appreciate it. And again, here goes the report. We got 40 seconds left. I prefer futures trading. And again, I'm sponsored by Top Step, which is a funded program for futures. And so, I'm a little biased, but I think funded programs just make a lot of sense because it limits your risk. If you want to day trade, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. Patterns are very similar to large cap patterns, but there's no PDT rule, and these funded account programs are allowed, and they just limit your risk. Like the base combine on Top Step's $49. They give you a demo if you can hit the target, which is 3K on that 50K demo without losing over 2K. They fund you with a 90% split, and they pay out millions every year. They fund thousands a year. They've been around for over a decade. So if you want to check them out, there's the link. Here's the data right here, guys. 5 seconds. See what the Jolts report shows up as, and there's the data release right there. Okay, so manufacturing PMI data, ISM manufacturing PMI data came in lower than expected at 46.4 for manufacturing ISM data versus 46.8 expected. Still waiting for the Jolts numbers to show up. It doesn't look like the Jolts numbers are out, but the market likes this. So far we are bouncing up on this report. The market seems to like this data here. And the Jolts report is not out yet. It doesn't look like it's out yet, at least. But yeah, manufacturing PMI came in slightly lower than expected. We'll put this number up on screen. And again, we cover this data quickly. Huge run up here, guys. Huge run up in markets. We're waiting for the Jolts report to drop. There's the updated ISM data at the bottom of the screen here. Look at the big run. We're still waiting for Jolts. Yeah, it looks like the Jolts report's delayed. I don't see anything yet. If you guys see it before I do, let me know. I just don't see it. All Let me check another source. Jolts 9.61 million. Or no, 9.58 million, I think. Or yeah, 9.58 million versus the expected 9.6. We'll put this up on screen. Slightly lower than expected job openings, and the market seems to like this. Here's the data release right here. We'll put this up on screen also. Yeah, Jolts lower than expected. PMI data lower than expected. Both signal less economic growth, which might be taken as a positive right now, I guess. And it looks like it is. So market's running up. Still in that trend we drew earlier. All right, guys. Again, markets rip it up. We'll see if it holds these, but again, market likes the Jolts report so far. It likes what happened here for the Jolts report. Again, a lot of my trades are doing great. ENPH. You love to see that. ENPH is green. Honeywell is green today too. I'll probably take a little piece of ENPH off just because I already am up enough in it. All right, we just took a piece, half of our ENPH trade off since we're up so much already short term. All right, so again, finally getting a dip down here. Do I want to buy this dip? I don't know. Let's look at the NASDAQ here. All right, just made a little bit more. Nice little day. We made over $100 today on our funded account. The NASDAQ is just really, really choppy. There's the E-mini. NASDAQ finally starting to move. E-mini looking great. Big rip up. What was my first? Okay, 73. 40. There we go. Trying to keep this trend going since the trend that I drew earlier has stayed. We basically stayed in this little trend. It hasn't been perfect. I've had to edit it a couple times, but you can kind of see the trend that we've been using all morning. It's worked really well on that upside. And they give you, have it already, check out Top Step. Top Step funded program for futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill. Great way to, that's what we're trading on today. We are funded on them. We're up over 100 today in our funded account. Again, what they do is they give you a demo and you got to pass their challenge first. Base one's 50K. They're going to give you a 50K demo. If you can hit 3K in profit without losing over 2K, and there's a couple other rules, then they fund you 50K with a 90% split and you get to keep your first 10,000 in profit. And they pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year, fund thousands a year. And the futures market has no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ currencies. Mostly what you see me day trading today is the S&P 500 futures contract called the E-mini. Again, you can check it out here. Great way to help support the channel. Most traders should be day trading futures over stocks, in my opinion. It's just less restrictive. The S&P 500 is going to give you better patterns and similar patterns to large blue chip companies anyway. But so far, a nice little bull trend here. Looks like the market likes this. It probably has to do with inflation fears. You know, if inflation fears are there, the market's not going to like um, big economic growth that's going to stimulate spending is what it is, right? So when spending is stimulated from like economic growth, from like jobs, from manufacturing, when people spend more, prices go up because businesses can raise prices if their sales numbers are good enough. And so in that regard, like sometimes there's a negative correlation with things that stimulate spending in the market in general, because more spending can be seen as a negative for inflation problems. And so that's kind of why you see these things where we get economic data that shows less spending, and the market likes that data and reacts positively to it. Now, it doesn't ever mean, sometimes it's nuanced, but I think watching this trend for potential breakdown here might make sense. So we just cracked the bottom of the trend here. If we start to break this low, the trend could be changing. It might pivot to more of a short-based strategy, but if not, we could be holding this trend that we've been in. Too volatile for me to really want to take any more trades. Again, we're up over 100 today on our account, but I don't trust it enough to really take any big positions. I'm already funded, John. All right, market's still holding the trend to a certain extent, but again, too volatile for me to want to mess with it. Tesla bouncing up is what's dragging the market up short term. Let's look at the NASDAQ here. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's looking a little bit worse in terms of trend than the market itself. I just scalped another couple bucks. Again, here's our funded account graph today. We are up about $130. Our win-loss ratio is about 7-1 in our express funded account. So not bad. We got a little bit of green in here. Again, the NASDAQ's starting to just press here. So again, the reason I pull up the NASDAQ is because once we start to build up a cushion, we'll be a little bit more likely to attack the NASDAQ, because I think the trends are a little bit better. You can take as many trades as you want, Davey. You just can't lose over a certain amount. All right, we're just kind of sitting tight now. We'll see if we get some good trades in, but little pull on the NASDAQ. I'm kind of quiet right now. I don't see anything I like enough to really take any more trades. I'm very happy with my little 130 bucks on the day. And I can't say for sure whether I'll do anything else today, but we're sitting okay so far. Getting some green action back up. NASDAQ is like the Q, guys. So for those that don't understand, the NASDAQ is like the QQQ is a ETF of the NASDAQ. You can look at the weight. If you want to know what's in the NASDAQ, just Google weights, S&P 500 weight stocks, and they'll give you like a list of all the big high weighted stocks. The NASDAQ, if I remember correctly, is like Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, a couple other ones. Yeah, we're just sitting tight. I don't see anything I really like right now, and the market's kind of flat. So we're just kind of sitting here waiting to see if we get a better trend. But Nasdaq's choppy, so I don't know if we're going to take that swing on this one today. Hey, baby. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close it down today. I got to do something with Carol. So again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate the love and support. Again, so far, Green Day and realized profits. We'll take that. And again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step if you want to try to get funded like I am. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm definitely biased in their favor, but it's just a lot cheaper than putting up the money yourself and risking that. So if you haven't already, check them out. I love you all. Y'all be safe. Check out Moomoo as well. You can get up to 15 free stocks on Moomoo if you open up an account. Deposit $100, you get 5 free stocks. You open up an account, deposit over 1,000, you get 15 free stocks. You deposit over 5K, you get the previous 15 plus Google or Tesla. And I did get Tesla, and there's 0 commission stock trades. It's open the entire time of pre-market as well. So if you want to trade stocks, get some free stocks on Moomoo. If you want to trade futures, which is what most day traders should be doing, check out Top Step. Link for both of those in the description. Love you all. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys later.